What are the best sources of vitamin D? Vitamin D is a type of nutrient that the body produces when a person's skin has exposure to direct sunlight. People can also consume vitamin D, but it is not naturally present in many foods. High quantities of vitamin D are present in oily fish and certain types of mushrooms. According to the Office of Dietary Supplements, ODS, the key benefit of vitamin D is that it helps keep a person's bones, muscles, and nerves healthy. It also contributes to a healthy immune system. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Here are some healthy foods that are high in vitamin D. 1. Salmon. Salmon is a popular fatty fish and great source of vitamin D. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, Food Composition Database, 1 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving of farmed Atlantic salmon contains 526 IU of vitamin D, or 66% of the DV. Whether the salmon is wild or farmed can make a big difference. On average, wild-caught salmon packs 988 IU of vitamin D per 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving, or 124% of the DV. Some studies have found even higher levels in wild salmon, up to 1,300 IU per serving. However, farmed salmon contains only 25% of that amount. Still, one serving of farmed salmon provides about 250 IU of vitamin D, or 32% of the DV. 2. Herring and sardines. Herring is a fish eaten around the world. It can be served raw, canned, smoked, or pickled. This small fish is also one of the best sources of vitamin D. Fresh Atlantic herring provides 216 IU per 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving, which is 27% of the DV. If fresh fish isn't your thing, pickled herring is also a good source of vitamin D, providing 112 IU per 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving, or 14% of the DV. However, pickled herring also contains a high amount of sodium, which some people consume too much of. Canned sardines are a good source of vitamin D as well. One can, 3.8 ounces, contains 177 IU, or 22% of the DV. Other types of fatty fish are also good vitamin D sources. Halibut and mackerel provide 384 IU and 360 IU per half a fillet, respectively. 3. Cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is a popular supplement. If you don't like fish, taking cod liver oil can be key to obtaining certain nutrients that are unavailable in other sources. It's an excellent source of vitamin D, at about 448 IU per teaspoon, 4.9 milliliters. It clocks in at a massive 56% of the DV. It has been used for many years to prevent and treat deficiency in children. Cod liver oil is likewise a fantastic source of vitamin A, with 150% of the DV in just 1 teaspoon, 4.9 milliliters. However, vitamin A can be toxic in high amounts. Therefore, be cautious with cod liver oil, making sure to not take too much. In addition, cod liver oil is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which many people are deficient in. 4. Canned tuna. Many people enjoy canned tuna because of its flavor and easy storage methods. It's also usually cheaper than buying fresh fish. Canned light tuna packs up to 268 IU of vitamin D in a 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving, which is 34% of the DV. It's also a good source of niacin and vitamin K. Unfortunately, canned tuna contains methylmercury, a toxin found in many types of fish. If it builds up in your body, it can cause serious health problems. However, some types of fish pose less risk than others. For instance, light tuna is typically a better choice than white tuna. It's considered safe to eat up to 6 ounces, 170 grams, per week. 5. Egg yolks. People who don't eat fish should know that seafood is not the only source of vitamin D. Whole eggs are another good source, as well as a wonderfully nutritious food. While most of the protein in an egg is found in the white, the fat, vitamins, and minerals are found mostly in the yolk. One typical egg yolk contains 37 IU of vitamin D, or 5% of the DV. Vitamin D levels in egg yolk depend on sun exposure and the vitamin D content of chicken feed. When given the same feed, pasture-raised chickens that roam outside in the sunlight produce eggs with levels 3 to 4 times higher. Additionally, eggs from chickens given vitamin D enriched feed may have up to 6,000 IU of vitamin D per yolk. That's a whopping 7 times the DV. Choosing eggs either from chickens raised outside or marketed as high in vitamin D can be a great way to meet your daily requirements. 6. Mushrooms. Excluding fortified foods, mushrooms are the only good plant source of vitamin D. Like humans, mushrooms can synthesize this vitamin when exposed to UV light. Though vitamin D2 helps raise blood levels of vitamin D, it may not be as effective as vitamin. Nonetheless, wild mushrooms are excellent sources of vitamin D2. In fact, some varieties pack up to 2,300 IU per 3.5 ounce, 100 gram serving. Nearly 3 times the DV. On the other hand, commercially grown mushrooms are often grown in the dark and contain very little D2. However, certain brands are treated with ultraviolet UV light. These mushrooms can provide 130 to 450 IU of vitamin D2 per 3.5 ounces 100 grams. 7. Fortified foods. Natural sources of vitamin D are limited, especially if you're vegetarian or don't like fish. Fortunately, some food products that don't naturally contain vitamin D are fortified with this nutrient. 8. Cow's milk. Cow's milk, the most commonly consumed type of milk, is naturally a good source of many nutrients, including calcium, phosphorus, and riboflavin. In several countries, cow's milk is fortified with vitamin D. It usually contains about 115 to 130 IU per cup, 237 milliliters, or about 15 to 22% of the DV. 9. Soy milk. Because vitamin D is found almost exclusively in animal products, vegetarians and vegans are at a particularly high risk of not getting enough. For this reason, plant-based milk substitutes like soy milk are often fortified with this nutrient and other vitamins and minerals usually found in cow's milk. 1 cup 237 milliliters typically contains 107 to 117 IU of vitamin D, or 13 to 15% of the DV. Vitamin D is necessary for the absorption of calcium, which plays a key role in maintaining bone strength and skeletal integrity. Getting enough of both vitamin D and calcium is crucial to maintaining bone health and protecting against disorders like osteoporosis, a condition that is characterized by weak, brittle bones. Children and adults aged 1 to 70 need approximately 600 IU of vitamin D per day, and it can come from a combination of food sources and sunlight. Meanwhile, adults over 70 should aim for at least 800 IU 20 mcg of vitamin D per day. The daily value DV, a rating system used on the labels of packaged food, is 800 IU per day. Calcium needs also vary by age. Children aged 1 to 8 require about 2,500 milligrams of calcium daily, and those ages 9 to 18 need approximately 3,000 milligrams daily. Adults ages 19 to 50 generally require about 2,500 milligrams daily, which decreases to 2,000 milligrams daily for those over age 50.